Good morning, friends. Those of you who have joined us for the very first time, and for many of you who have been with us for several years. Welcome to Cancer Action's 11th Annual Champions for Survivorship Breakfast. I'm so glad you've taken some time out of your morning to be with us this morning. We welcome you again virtually this morning. I was hoping we would be in person, but I know that you are with us this morning because cancer has touched your life, much as it has touched our life. And we want to offer support and encouragement to those who are facing cancer right here in our hometown. Today, we celebrate cancer survivors at every stage of their journey. I know we will leave here today with an abundance of inspiration, a better understanding of the work of Cancer Action, and a stronger commitment to stand up and to help those with cancer right here in our community. Before I recognize our sponsors, I want to take a moment to pay tribute to a great friend of our city, a passionate and generous supporter of those with cancer around the country, but especially here in Kansas City, Annette Block. Richard and Annette Block's generosity and commitment to helping cancer patients, offering hope and ensuring world-class cancer care is immeasurable, touching countless lives over the years. The Richard and Annette Block Cancer Foundation, and now Family Foundation, have granted millions of dollars to improve the lives of those with cancer in a multitude of ways. Cancer Action has been fortunate to be one of the organizations they have offered support to through the years. I recently read a saying, and it made me think of Annette. There are some who bring a light so great to the world that even after they are gone, their light remains. Certainly, she outlived her life and has left a tremendous legacy for all of us. As we celebrate survivorship today, we also pause to reflect on the many family, friends, and those whose light have brightened our hearts, and honor and remember those who have lost their battle with cancer, whose lights remain with us even today. I know that I have special people in my life that I have lost this year. We pause to remember Molly Hammer, who shared her beautiful voice last 7 years at our breakfast, and many others who gave much to Cancer Action, clients and volunteers. Let's take a moment and reflect on the gift of love that their lives have been to our hearts with a moment of silence. Thank you. Now I'd like to take just a few moments to recognize our sponsors that make today possible. Because of their generosity, every dollar that's given to Cancer Action this morning will go to our mission, helping those with cancer in our community. First, I want to recognize our two presenting Champions for Survivorship sponsors who have been faithful to sponsor our breakfast for several years. The Richard and Annette Block Family Foundation and Kevin and Erica Sweeney. Thank you for your generosity again this year. Our Hope Beyond Cancer sponsors include longtime friends of Cancer Action, Bank of Labor, the Masonic Cancer Alliance, RPM Photography and Cinematography, the University of Kansas Health Systems, Mariner Wealth Advisors. Our media sponsor for this year is Farmers Bank of Kansas City. We have several Empowerment During Cancer sponsors and caregiver support sponsors, which you can see on the screen and can find on our Cancer Action website. Please join me in thanking each of these for their generous support. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the host of our morning, our friend and cancer survivor, Cynthia Newsom. Cynthia is the midday anchor for the 41 Action News and an award-winning journalist. She's received many recognitions for her news reporting in her 30-plus career in broadcasting. In 2012, she was inducted into the Silver Circle of the Mid-America National Association of Television Arts and Sciences for excellence in broadcasting and community service. In addition to anchoring the news, Cynthia was recently promoted to Senior Community Relationships Director at KSHB TV 41. Cynthia has also been recognized for her passion and her advocacy around breast cancer and other important topics. She was awarded the Cancer Survivor of the Year Award from the Richard and Annette Block Cancer Foundation. Cynthia has been a great inspiration for all of us and will inspire us again this morning. And now, without further ado, please help me welcome Cynthia Newsom.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for Cancer Action's 11th Annual Champion for Survivorship Breakfast. As a cancer survivor myself, I'm delighted to be with you as we celebrate survivorship and also raise some money for Cancer Action and support as well. We are so delighted that you are here with us today, and we are so grateful as well for all of our sponsors. Now, today is very special, and usually we would have everyone who is present in person stand if they are a cancer survivor. We cannot do that. So instead, what we're asking you to do is just personally, where you are right now, give a round of applause for all of our cancer survivors. So many of you remembered that I first shared about my cancer journey at the breakfast in 2016. At that time, I had successfully beaten breast cancer, and I survived breast cancer, was a cancer-free for 7 years, and then I was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, and I'm still in that fight today. I'm doing well. I'm taking my chemotherapy, immunotherapy. I have my treatment. And so I'm really just grateful to God. I'm grateful to my healthcare providers, to my husband, to all of our viewers, to the Cancer Action family who has been there since the beginning of my breast cancer journey. I'm just thankful for everyone who has stood with me. And there are so many people out there who as well are dealing with cancer and who have that same support, and they too are grateful for those who stand and support them. And I know many of you are cancer survivors as well. You're in the thick of the battle. You've got your medical team, and you also have those people who are surrounding you with support and love, and it feels good. And so today, you are going to hear stories of survivors, those people who are lifting their voices and sharing their journeys with us. Ed and I are also going to share our journey with you. It has been a passion of mine to raise my voice and to stand with the hundreds of people who are fighting cancer in our community, to educate and to inspire and to give hope to those people on their personal journey with cancer. As we listen to these voices, our hope is that their stories will inspire you to use your voice, to stand with others, to make a difference. And so now, let's listen to the voices of cancer.
I happened to find a lump. The diagnosis was breast cancer, stage 3, triple negative breast cancer.
They said if something looked suspicious, and so then immediately they did ultrasounds, and I set up a biopsy, and sure enough, it came back that it was HER2 positive, breast cancer.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer, survived for 7 years after treatment, and then I was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer in 2019.
It had spread a little bit into the lymph nodes.
It had also made it to my lymph nodes.
So we did really rigorous chemo that really took its toll on me. I was very sick through that one.
I started chemo and did some radiation, did a couple of surgeries.
Then I had a couple surgeries and radiation, the whole bit. So, a year of all that. And then it looked pretty good. I was having some pains, thought I had appendicitis. They saw some spots on my liver. So we got those biopsied, and it was the same cancer. So I think because it was in the lymph nodes, made it to my liver.
I would definitely say the biggest challenge was breaking the news to my children, because they hadn't dealt with anything to that magnitude. They hadn't really dealt with sickness a lot at all.
And so we started immunotherapies, and they really thought that was going to work. A few months later, it wasn't working. They were getting bigger.
It's been one of those battles that has just been ongoing.
So they started me on this new drug, and it's been really working for me really well.
I'm here today, surviving today.
So far, the scans have been good, and they were actually seeing shrinkage.
I'm not thankful that I have breast cancer, now metastatic breast cancer, but I am very encouraged, I'm very blessed because my treatment's doing really great.
I feel great, so we're just fighting and fighting.
Where I am right now is I'm expecting in October I'll be welcoming another little girl into the family.
We're going to continue to have faith. We're going to continue to fight, and we're going to continue to surround ourselves in an incredible environment of love and support.
Wow, wasn't that amazing? And there's more to come. I want to also share my word of welcome with you. Thank you for taking time out this morning to join us for our Champions for Survivorship breakfast. And a special thank you to Cynthia Newsom. Isn't it great to have her with us this morning? I also want to thank Ebony. You haven't heard her yet, but she is amazing. Thanks also to Janet and Gary Hall. Janet serves on our board of directors. And a very special thank you to Derica McDaniel. She is one of our clients and a cancer survivor and sharing her story with us today. I'm grateful to all the others who will share a part of this program today. Prepare to be inspired. You know, the voice is a very powerful thing. And today we hear many voices that tell personal stories, stories of hope, of courage, of passion, of giving back, all voices that are a part of the cancer journey. And I am so grateful for all of them for sharing their stories with us today. Our voices also are shared, not only in the things we say, but also in the things we do. I remember my mom used to say, actions speak louder than words. Often we speak loudest through our actions, through demonstrating the care and concern we have for others. Cancer Action is a strong and vital voice for cancer patients here in our community. It is because of our compassionate action that meets vital, even life-saving needs for those with cancer. We know that every cancer journey is personal, each voice with their own unique story. In my career of over 30 years, I have worked with thousands of cancer patients and their loved ones. I have listened to their voices. I have heard their stories. No two people's journey is the same. As we listen this morning, we see the impact of each person is different. That's why Cancer Action support is so unique and individual, meeting the needs of each individual, their caregivers, and their loved ones, with a combination of practical support, of financial assistance, of emotional support, helping each person and their families navigate their personal cancer journey. In this way, we help them raise their voices, meet their challenges. We also let them know that there are people whose voices they don't hear, but are supporting them all the same. That's what community is all about. And I am so grateful for each of you. Through your voice and through your actions, you demonstrate the compassion that is in our community. Our motto is that no one faces the challenge of cancer alone. And indeed, together, we stand up. We raise our voices to ensure that those with cancer right here in our hometown have the support they need throughout their cancer journey. And I am so grateful for that. And now, let's continue to hear the voices that are facing this journey.
I think in order to be a good caregiver, you have to be patient, have to be understanding, and willing to give of yourself without any hesitation.
My daughter was a huge help because she picked up a lot around the house doing the things that I couldn't do, some of the cleaning and cooking. In particular, she definitely made sure that I got some of my best meals that I needed. And she definitely played a huge role in keeping her sister and her brother calm during certain ordeals, so that was a huge help.
I knew when my mom, like the feeling of you being sick and then having everybody just there, kind of makes you clampered and crushed at the same time, thinking I don't want to let them down kind of thing. And so I try to give her her space and time.
Had a great support system. My husband had just retired, so it was perfect timing. So he was there and he never missed a doctor's appointment, took care of me.
You don't really understand it, but you always have kind of a hope. The treatment was difficult. She really was challenged physically, and I'm glad I could be there for her. I can't imagine anybody doing this without some type of help.
being able to encourage another person to just have a steady hand, steady head, and to know that there's always a better day, even tomorrow.
And I was committed to being there the entire step of the way, every step of the way, with going to appointments. Then COVID happened. So I had been to every single appointment, then COVID came and I couldn't do that anymore. When she got her first scan, because we're terrified of scans. If you ask anybody with cancer, when you have a scan, you don't know what's going to happen. So I remember her first scan after this new treatment, we didn't know if it was going to work or not. And I couldn't go with her. I was outside in the parking lot looking at the window because I wanted to see her. She came out and gave me the thumbs up. I was so happy.
What I try to do is that I try to get out front with the responsibility and say, well, let's see how we can get through this and be a blessing to somebody else.
With my sister, she holds on to everything. So when I found out that they hadn't known that my mom had cancer, it was kind of like me trying to protect my sister from the world, is what it kind of felt like.
Really know what it means to show love, because love does come first. And when you love a person, there are no limits and no bounds as to what you will or won't do for them.
I felt times where I was just like, oh my God, my mom's very, very sick right now, and I didn't know how to handle my emotions. And then there's other times where it came down to, my mom's gonna get over this. She likes Wonder Woman, right? Okay, she's gonna be Wonder Woman. It's gonna be a breeze.
I didn't think I could do it, but you just do it. You just get through it, and life just happens, and you start setting up appointments, and you have scans, and you have treatment, and you just kind of roll with it. You just kind of keep going. But I think you do that because you have hope, and you have faith that this is going to work out.
Hold them close to you as possibly hard as you can, because sometimes life can just be harsh to you.
The diagnosis of cancer is not a death sentence, and that there's always hope, and there's always a greater chance for survival than not.
Dropped the phone and burst into tears. The doctor just confirmed her fears. Her husband held it in and held her tight. Cancer don't discriminate or care if you're just 38, with 3 kids who need you in their lives. He said, I know that you're afraid, and I am too, but you'll never be alone, I promise you. When you're weak, I'll be strong. When you let go, I'll hold on. When you need to cry, I swear that I'll be there to dry your eyes. When you feel lost and scared to death, like you can't take one more step, just take my hand, together we can do it. I'm gonna love you through it. Made it through the surgery fine. They said they caught it just in time, but they had to take more than they had planned. Now it's forced smiles and baggy shirts to hide what the cancer took from her. But she just wants to feel like a woman again. She said, I don't think I can do this anymore. He took her in his arms and he said, that's what my love is for. When you're weak, I'll be strong. When you let go, I'll hold on. When you need to cry, I swear that I'll be there to dry your eyes. When you feel lost and scared to death, like you can't take one more step, just take my hand, together we can do it. I'm gonna
I feel like most of the time I kind of forget I have cancer. And I've always been very I don't want that to be my identity. Yeah, I just always felt like that I was saying, look at me, I have cancer. So then I started thinking, well, maybe I should be sharing a little more and doing something so that I can help other people.
I love Cancer Action. I remember when I was first diagnosed and you reached out with the beautiful gift bag of, all kinds of helpful little things and inspiring things. And it's those little touches that people do remember.
For one, the support was amazing. Having someone, a group of people that I could count on, call if I needed to get advice from, helps with medication that insurance didn't cover and things of that nature, certain equipment that I needed. Like I had a period where I needed shower chairs and a walker and things like that, and that was provided. I also got connections with other companies and groups through Cancer Action as well. I got a couple of books for my children as well to be able to understand what was going on a little bit more from a child's perspective.
I felt very fortunate that I have this incredible support system going through everything I've gone through. And we were financially able to do the things I needed to do. I started watching people, and when I'd go to chemo and I'd see people getting dropped off and they were alone, or I'd hear them talking to the financial people and they were really struggling, and I started thinking, I love how Cancer Action helps all these people and providing wigs. I mean, just all the supplies and prescriptions and just things that they could do to help them. What can I do somehow to connect with those other people that are struggling with that?
Early in my diagnosis, we weren't able to do the holidays, and you guys helped with that as well.
That's when I decided I really wanted to be part of Cancer Action because of what they do in our community and how they help so many people. I don't know, it's just become kind of a passion, and I think I want to help others, but it's also helping me when I do that.
Cancer isn't a gentle disease. I wanted people to see me as me and not see me as the cancer patient. We have moments when we may shut down. If you are dealing with someone who's having that moment, still be there for them, because just your commitment to that family member or that friend means everything, and it can also be a huge aid in survival, and I feel like that was something that definitely helped me.
Find things to celebrate. Even when it's tough and it's not going well and you don't feel good. Think about trying to get through those times and get beyond and past it.
A huge blessing is now having a better understanding of life and appreciation for the smaller things, the things that you have moments where you think you won't get to do or you won't get to experience that. I now have a great understanding and appreciation for those things. Just spending time with my kids, watching them grow, even their little arguments. I'm glad that I'm here to be able to see those and experience my family more.
You have something to fight for. To be here to love others who are loving you. And so remember what you're fighting for.
You have cancer.
Those are the scariest 3 words I have ever heard.
You have cancer.
What was my family supposed to do?
I didn't know what my options even were.
It was like a punch in the gut.
I'm sorry, but it's returned.
I didn't know where to turn.
Is this really how my life is going to end?
What are my options?
What is my husband going to do?
What about my family? We had nowhere to turn.
I needed help.
I didn't know where to turn.
I found support through Cancer Action.
They really do listen. They offered me things I didn't even know were available.
All the lonely people crying. It could change if we just get started. Lift the darkness, light a fire for the silent and the broken hearted. Won't you stand up, stand up, stand up? Won't you stand up, you girls and boys? Won't you stand up, stand up? Stand up, won't you stand up and use your voice?
When people call us, we listen. And I think that's so important. We listen to their emotions to their feelings. We hear what they're saying, and in that conversation, we're able to pick out things that they may need, things that they don't even realize that they need. I can get them a wig, I can get them a hat, I can get them, nutrition, maybe help with medication. There's so many things that we can do for people, and we're here. We are here to help these people.
Won't you stand up, stand up, stand up? Won't you stand up, you girls and boys? Won't you stand up, stand up, stand up? Won't you stand up and use your voice?
Sunflowers to Roses has been standing up for Cancer Action for 19 years.
In my professional life as a social worker, my goal is to promote well-being and reduce distress. I feel like Cancer Action meets that mark every day, and that's what I strive for also.
When the walls fall all around you, when your hope has turned to dust, let the sound of love surround you, beat like a heart in each of us. Won't you stand up, stand up, stand up? Won't you stand up, you girls and boys? Won't you stand up, stand up, stand up? Won't you stand up and use your voice? Won't you stand up, stand up, stand up? Won't you stand up, you girls and boys? Won't you stand up, stand up, stand up? Won't you stand up and use your voice?
Sunflowers to Roses knows the important work that Cancer Action does in this community.
We started Pay It Forward Nick's Way in 2018 in honor of my husband, Nick. We were extremely blessed with a strong network of people that propped us up and a strong health insurance that we didn't have to worry about much except getting Nick through the difficult times he was having. And after we lost him in 2018, we knew he had such a generous and kind heart that we had to continue forward and pay it forward in his way, hence the Pay It Forward Nick's Way. We knew we wanted to do it for cancer patients who probably, or many aren't as fortunate as we are. Our goal is to help as many as we can, as often as we can. Prior to COVID, we had a large event that was a dinner and an auction. Since COVID, we've been doing silent auctions once a year. We are continuing in that vein where we will do a silent auction as long as we can in order to help those cancer patients that need the help.
Won't you stand up and use your voice?
Stand up. Use your voice. We've heard from many voices this morning. Thank you, Cynthia Newsom, for being the inspirational voice of the community. Thank you, Janet Hall, for being the voice of service. These women, both cancer survivors, use their voices even during their personal fight with cancer. We've heard voices from cancer survivors, including Derica, and caregivers, staff, and volunteers, and those passionate to make a difference by raising money through special events. All very important voices along the cancer journey. I too know the importance of lifting my voice. As a cancer survivor, I know how challenging it can be dealing with the physical remnants of my cancer treatment. Every one of us has been touched by cancer in some way. We have heard the voices of those we care about, how devastating cancer can be to their lives and their well-being. Now we give you the opportunity to lift your voice, to stand up, to make a difference. You can help us keep the voice of Cancer Action strong in Kansas City. We are a vital voice in the community, one that cancer patients, caregivers, and the medical community rely on every day to help those with cancer meet the many challenges they face. These challenges continue to grow, and Cancer Action is dedicated to being there, offering services and support to help families navigate their personal cancer journeys. We don't do this important work without the support of our community. It takes all of us lifting our voices, standing up, being willing to give of our resources to help our neighbors, our friends, our family during the most difficult journey they may ever walk in their lives. Every dollar raised stays right here in our hometown. You will see on the screen how you can make a donation and join your voice with ours. We are so grateful to our sponsors who have already stood up and raised their voices this morning. Please join them now in making a donation. As we take a moment to allow you time to respond, we will show some of the ways your dollars will go to work, helping those with cancer through the services of Cancer Action. You can make a one-time donation or a monthly gift of support. Please know we are grateful for every dollar we receive, particularly during these times when the needs are so great and the resources are so limited. Every donation, large or small, goes to a good use. Thank you again for spending this time with us and for helping us keep a strong voice of support for those with cancer in Kansas City.
Wow, this has been an inspirational experience. We have so many people to thank. We want to thank Ebony Fondren for sharing her beautiful voice and powerful message in song. And thank you to Derica McDaniel and her daughter, Taraya. And thank you to Janet and Gary Hall, as well as my wonderful husband, Ed Newsom. And we want to thank all of you who raised your voice and shared how you stand up and support cancer survivors in our community. And thank you to each of you who stood up this morning and showed your support for Cancer Action. Thanks again to the sponsors of today's breakfast, especially the presenting sponsor, the Richard and Annette Block Family Foundation, and Kevin and Erica Sweeney. We are grateful to each of you who joined us today to celebrate cancer survivors at every stage of their cancer journey. And we hope that you will be inspired to continue to stand up, walk alongside, and support those living with cancer in the Kansas City community. It has been my honor to be with you here today, and may you have a great rest of your day.
Won't you stand up and use your voice?